What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Unsolicited with Sam and Jordan. I am Sam. This is Jordan. We are live. It is Wednesday, April 3rd. And baby, we hit 300 subscribers on YouTube. Welcome to live show number 2.
Let's go. I love celebrating these milestones live with you guys. The last live show that we did was so much fun. So we are so excited to be back. Sam, now it's time for our weekly check-in. How are you? What's been going on?
Things are good, doing a lot of wedding stuff right now. The wedding stuff is bananas, actually. I thought that the big vendors would be hard. That was the easy part. The details, the little things are the hard part. So we're tackling those this week. But how are you doing?
Well, I'm so proud of you for that. And I'm
Well,
doing so great. I am still recovering from my birthday weekend, which was
yes.
more socialization that I've done in one weekend than I've probably done in the last 3 months. I literally looked at all of my closest friends and family at one point in the night and was like, can I leave my own birthday party early? Like I was just done. But no, I got so spoiled. I was filled with so much love. It was such a great weekend. And yeah, now I'm just praying for the sunshine to come back eventually.
Yeah, before the show started, it was about 10 minutes before we went live. I hadn't heard from Jordan at all, which was very at least like if we're doing podcast stuff, like I will hear from her like, hey, I'm on my way home, or hey, I'm doing this. Like I hadn't heard from her, and it was like it's raining really hard here in the New York, New Jersey area. And of course, the way my brain works is, oh my God, Jordan's dead on the side of the road. Like she crashed her car. Like so, and I was like, I texted her like at 6:30, and I was like, I'll be on in 15 minutes. And then I didn't hear from her, and like 10 minutes before, I was like, hey, you good? And then I get a notification that's like, Sporty Jordy has mentioned you in their Instagram story. And I was like, this bitch.
Sam's like texting me to make sure I'm alive. And I'm like, hold on, I need to post that we're going live.
I was like very just like slightly worried. But then she popped on to the StreamYard and I was like, oh, okay.
I literally got the text from Sam that said, hey, you good? As I was pulling up StreamYard to log in and do the show. So I was like, I'm just going to say hi when I hop in here.
Which made complete sense. There was no reason for you to text me back at that point. But I genuinely was just like, with the weather and everything, I was like, oh my God, like Jordan's dead somewhere.
No, and Sam, you have gotten enough like chaotic texts from me at like the most random time with the most random horrific scenarios. So like it's not out of the realm of possibilities.
Yeah.
But luckily, all is well. We're all good. However, Sam, your Bills are not so good.
Okay, what a jarring NFL offseason thing that we have had today. So obviously after Saquon left the Giants and like other things have been happening this offseason, I was like, okay, the Bills are my backup team. They've always been my backup team. I'm gonna be so happy to root for the Bills as they make another, playoff run for the Super Bowl. Stephon Diggs was traded to the Houston Texans this afternoon. Yeah, in my brain, all hope of a Bills Super Bowl has gone out the window. There's no way Curtis Samuel, who is a Bill, by the way, didn't know that. That. And I don't know, Khalil Shakir
and Mac Hollins.
I think Andy Isabella is on that roster too.
Okay.
But yeah, Josh Allen cannot do it all.
No.
The poor man is struggling as is. And yeah, so not looking good for the Bills. The Texans, however, Super Bowl contenders now. I'm obsessed with the Texans.
Sam, I just cannot wait to see a Texans-Eagles Super Bowl this year. Like what more could you ask for?
I
know. I was just going to say, my boyfriend, the love of my life, knows me so well, surprised the absolute hell out of me with a CJ Stroud jersey.
Love it.
Something that was like one of those things. Sam knows I have some of my Eagles followers get really upset with me when they see me get other jerseys. I have a collection. I love players. It's a passion of mine. I collect jerseys for the people that I love. So we have to get over it. The collection is just continuing to grow.
Yes.
I also got a Caitlin Clark jersey this weekend. So that fantastic. But so Brian surprised me with the CJ Stroud jersey, which was one of those things that I probably like casually mentioned once, like, oh, for next Christmas, CJ Stroud is going to be on my Christmas list. And now I got it. So thank you, Brian. Love you. But CJ Stroud, I posted a TikTok not the moment, but like within the half hour that the Stefon Diggs news broke. Sam, I'm not going to lie. It's going viral and I'm getting fucking torched. Ripped apart on TikTok right now.
When you sent me the comments, it was like the duality of man between Instagram comments and TikTok comments. I literally was like, this needs to be studied in a lab.
Literally, it was insane. For context, I posted the TikTok that was like, the TikTok started with Stefon Diggs' tweet from last night, which was absurd. For those that don't know, there was an account that tweeted that was like, Josh essentially saying Josh Allen doesn't need Stefon Diggs or a top receiver to be successful.
Right.
And Stefon Diggs replied back to it and was like, you sure? 24 hours later, Stefon Diggs traded to the Texans. So I started talking about that, went into, hey, I fear the Bills are screwed and the Texans are in great shape. I am being literally demolished.
I don't understand though.
I don't either, because it's not wrong. Like, I'm sorry. Yes, Stefon Diggs acted like a diva. Like he did. Yeah. However, maybe he was just done with the Bills. Like, I don't know. Like, he's still Stefon Diggs. Like, I still don't know. I don't know. Everyone's like, he's washed. This doesn't mean anything for the Texans. I'm sorry. I think it's a huge deal for the Texans. I think it's amazing for CJ Stroud. And I think the Bills are in real danger.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And the thing is, you're right. Like, I don't understand why people are coming at you. I made a TikTok the other day about the NC State player DJ Burns. And like, as a joke, was basically like, get this man on an NFL line. Somebody commented and was like, you obviously don't know anything about football. I was like, it's a fucking joke, dude. Yes. You think he's going to come and play football? Like, are you, like, literally think about things for like 2 more seconds before you type something out on the internet? Please.
No, it's the most frustrating thing ever. Especially, like, obviously, like, the whole, oh, she's a female, she's a woman. Like, that aspect is obviously very dragged out for no reason. But what pisses me off so much, I've heard so many of you silly boys with your crazy ass, hot ass takes on the internet. No one, they may tell you you're wrong. They don't tell you don't know anything. Like, I'm being ripped apart and I'm like, not gonna lie, what I said isn't even a hot take.
No, like, it's not, because it's true.
I am notorious for having random hot takes. If I get ripped apart on the internet for those, I'm asking for it. I know that. This is not one of the, I literally was blown away by all the Stefon Diggs hate. I just reached an insane market. And also probably Bills fans that are like a little in denial, who are like convinced they're going to be okay, which I don't know if you are. I hope you are. I would never root against the Bills. I love Josh Allen.
I don't know. We'll see. We have a couple comments here from Ben. So Ben said, sup guys, I could see the Bills trading for Ayuk or T. Higgins. The fact that the Bills owe him $33 million means that they were ready to move on. Also, how are you both doing in your women's bracket? Thank you so much for asking, Ben. I am not doing well because I chose LSU to win. So my entire future just fell apart on Monday night, which we'll be talking about some March Madness stuff.
Yes.
Because he also said Caitlin Clark first page this Friday is going to be so fun. I'm sure that those 12.3 million viewers will be tuning into that game as well. Mm-hmm. But to go off of what you were saying, Ben, I would love to see Brandon Ayuk in a Bills jersey. Love to see
love
T. Higgins. It's I mean, it still could happen technically, but I don't think he's going anywhere this offseason.
I agree. I initially wanted T. Higgins to Houston. I'm pretty sure I said it on this show. I was like, that would be great for CJ Stroud. This I think is much better for CJ Stroud. But yeah, no, I would love the Bills. Also, the Bills are in good position. This is a loaded draft class. So, like, when we say the Bills are screwed right now, if they can make something happen in this draft and maybe make a trade, do whatever they have to do to get one of those top receivers, and also, especially if they can make a legit trade with a more veteran receiver, then they're in a much better place. But just looking at where they're at right now, there's definitely major holes on the offense. They lost a lot of pieces this offseason and really haven't done much to kind of backfill. But we'll see. Anywhere Ayuk goes that is not the NFC, I'm so happy with.
I really like Brandon Ayuk. I know
I
Jordan
do
does
too. I
not
think he
like
is.
the 49ers, but
Oh my god, I think he is the most underrated receiver in the league right now. I'm not even kidding.
no, I agree. I think people will put Christian McCaffrey at the top of the 49ers roster, and I think that that's completely valid. But
Mhm.
like Christian McCaffrey can only run so much, and we know that for a fact before he starts to fall apart. Brandon Ayuk was really, really showing up for the Niners all the way up until the Super Bowl. We
We
have a
gotta
Niners
go
fan here.
Niners.
But I'm also looking at the our bracket challenge here. I was trying to get it on my computer and it wasn't working. But
Is the Mini Coop still in first?
no.
She
Um
fell.
I don't know who's in first, but shout out Aaron0399 picks 1. Um
Woo!
you are currently in first place, my dude. I think I am Spencer's actually only in 13th place. She's not that far down. She's
She's still
doing
alive.
she's doing pretty good. I'm in 29th place, but I'm not going anywhere again. And then you are where are you?
Last I saw I was in like 40th.
It says 39th.
I'll take it.
So not bad. Not bad. And you still have Iowa winning, so it's very, very possible that you make your way up our bracket challenge. But
I don't think so. Just because I feel like everyone has Iowa.
that's true. A lot of people chose Iowa. I was like trying to be different, but didn't work out for me. But Angel Reese is going to be, or she did declare for the
Yes.
draft this year. I think you put it on your Instagram story today how insane this draft class is going to be
Yes.
between Caitlin, Angel Reese, Cameron Brink. I think there was somebody else. Oh, Camila Cardoso from
Yes.
I remember her name because it sounds like my name. From South Carolina.
Carolina.
It's gonna be really interesting. I
No,
really like women's basketball.
I was just gonna say, Sam, I think I'm like upset. Like I genuinely like at first I was watching it like here and there to like, especially to watch like Caitlin break the records.
Yep.
Now I'm like, I can't stop thinking about it. I'm counting down to the games. Like all I want to do is watch women's basketball. And I'm sorry, their games are 10 times better than majority of NBA games that I've watched recently. Like they are so fun, so entertaining. These girls have so much talent. And obviously, I'm a Caitlin Clark fangirl. The whole nation is kind of mesmerized by her right now. But remove her, again, so much talent. Like
So
it's
good.
just unreal.
It's so good.
And I'm just having so much fun. And I can't wait for the WNBA season.
I agree.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
agree. We didn't forget Paige. Paige,
Yeah.
I don't think is declaring for the draft this year. She's
She's
going to
staying at
stay for one
UConn.
more year. So, but shout out Paige. Girl's a freaking animal. Shout out Juju Watkins. That woman is holding everything together for USC. Like
Yeah.
her
As
future
a
is so bright.
freshman.
Her future's so bright. It's unreal. It's unreal.
The future of women's basketball is so bright. And
That's the thing too. It's like you have people like Juju who are sitting there in the freshman class and like that's the impact they have already. Like in the next 2 years, I have a feeling that there's not going to be a person that's not watching the women's March Madness tournament.
yes.
Like WNBA will give it a chance with Caitlin going into the league, with Angel going into the league and everybody. But like the March Madness tournament, people are going to get so invested in this and it's great. It's fantastic. But I have a feeling that it's March Madness that's going to escalate faster than the WNBA. That's what I think.
No, I 100% agree. And I just think it's crazy because, like, given like 2 or 3 years ago, I remember Sedona making, is that her name?
Yep. Sedona
She was,
Prince.
yeah, she was making the TikToks of like the behind the scenes of what it was like to be a part of the women's tournament. They like had this like one shared workout space
It
with
was
like
so
just,
bad.
yeah, like they had like nowhere really to go. Like, so like just to see how quickly things have advanced even just since that point is crazy. I just can't wait to see where it keeps going.
It's funny because are you aware of the like Sedona lore that has happened since then?
I know there was the lore and then there was the fall off.
there's um there's a new she's got a new girlfriend now.
Who looks
Uh
exactly like the old one.
who looks exactly like the old one, correct. I believe her name was Riley. So we're going off real off kilter here for some people. Sedona Prince was the oh my god, my cat just knocked over my entire trash can. Oh my god. Anyways, nobody else is home, so that's just gonna lay there for another hour or so. Um, but Sedona played for Oregon, and she was the one who put it out on the internet to say, like, hey, women's hoops is not getting at all the money or recognition that it deserves. This is our weight room, it's crap. Then everybody fell in love with Sedona, which I think even we fell in love with Sedona
Yes.
because we were like, oh my God, she's incredible. We love her, tall woman. I don't know. We were just like infatuated with her. And then
Woman.
woman, she got this girlfriend and they were very TikTok public. And she was really small and Sedona was really tall and it was like really cute. And then she came out, the girlfriend came out and said that Sedona cheated on her multiple times. They broke up, this and that. And then since then, things have been just freaking up and down. But Sedona, she has popped up on my For You page a few times this past month.
Yeah, no, I've been getting videos of her again. I can't remember. I know she transferred. I know she's not with Oregon anymore. I can't remember where she transferred to. TCU, I did know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I definitely, I was very heavily in
You were invested.
the Sedona lore. And now my women's basketball crush is Paige. I'm so obsessed with her. It's gross.
No, she's fun. She's very fun.
She's just cool. She's got like this like swaggy energy about her. And I am so here for it. Did you see the clip of her from this weekend? When she was like posing with the thing and she was like, nah, I'm not Kobe. I'm not Kobe.
Yeah.
And I was like, girl, like I just love her.
She's like very just like funny too.
Yes.
Like just her personality is very fun. I just saw a TikTok, I think on her page of her like just no look, just like throwing a basket and it getting into the hoop. And I was like, oh my God, just so good.
These girls are unbelievable. I literally can't get over it.
We have a congrats on 300, ladies. Couldn't be happier, I'm assuming, for a better duo than you two rock stars. Don't get it twisted though, Jordy. Go Niners. I feel like this happened to us last time we have so many Niners fans that watch this show for some reason.
No, we really do. And Zach, thank you for all the support. I appreciate it so much. But yeah, no, we're so happy to be here. Oh, we got one.
There was bound to be one.
There's bound to be one.
There's bound to be one.
I'm just so happy to have you here. Balance out the monarchy.
I literally need you to like start talking for like 30 seconds because I need to do something about this cat. He is like inside the garbage pail.
Okay.
And it won't stop opening and closing. So
okay, I'll talk about
one second. Talk about the Eagles.
I'll talk about you don't no. I'm gonna talk about my men's March Madness bracket because it's really embarrassing.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Do your thing. All right. Hey friends. I am going to show you how embarrassing my March Madness bracket is, just because I didn't know I could pick this horribly. For record, I don't have a single Final Four team correct. None. My championship game was UNC versus Duke, just because like Hello, how much fun would that be? Everyone loves a good UNC Duke game. However, that did not work out. And then I had Kansas. It's Purdue. Who did I have from the East? Oh, no, I did have UConn. So I got that correct. Thank you so much for coming back.
Dude, the trash can was upside down. Everything is on the floor. It's like an automatically opening trash can, and so it kept opening and closing, and he was standing on top of all the trash like a fucking crazy cat. I just literally just screamed. I'm glad I muted my microphone. I just screamed at the top of my lungs at him.
That is hysterical.
Okay. I was like listening to you though, and I was just like, oh no, I need to work faster.
I was like, I need my counterpart.
It's okay. We're here. We're back.
We're back.
How was your men's bracket?
Awful.
Mine's horrible.
Horrible. I think I'm like, let's see what place I'm in my family pool. Oh, what the hell? I'm in 14th place. I'm dead though.
Who did you pick to win?
UNC.
Oh, yeah, that was gone long ago.
I had North Carolina playing Duke. So that was my.
You put Duke in the national championship? God bless.
I did because I love UNC Duke games.
Yeah, fair.
Thank you.
There should be no rhyme or reason to a bracket.
No, I went with that method this year. I'm going to finish in the top 20. Which is great. That's an improvement from last year when I actually put like stats and thought into oh my God, behind my picks.
Take a breath. Relax.
I'm still stressed from having to talk without you here.
We have Cat's Gonna Cat, little meow machines of merciless mayhem. That is so true though. I have an actual demon with fur living in my house. I hate him. No, I don't. I don't hate him. But I literally sometimes I have recently let's go on a cat tangent for a second.
Okay, let's do it.
This cat, if you do not look at him for more, like if you just like go off and do something, he will just follow you. As I was getting ready for the show, I was gone all day because I decided to go and work at my parents' house today because I was lonely and I wanted to go hang out with my mom. So I hung out with my mom and did work today. I came home. He walked around the entire house with me. I went into the bathroom. He comes into the bathroom with me. I go into my room where I have like my makeup set up and everything. I'm doing my makeup. He's standing under my armpit. Like he's like, his head is like right here as I'm like doing my makeup. And then I'm like, okay, I like fix my hair a little bit. He comes back into the bathroom with me. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to feed you so that you leave me alone when I'm doing my live show. That didn't help. I fed him. He ate all of his food. He's looking at me.
He knows you're talking about him.
He knows I'm talking about him.
Yeah.
And what he does, and if we don't show him love before we go to bed, he cries outside of our door all night. So last week I like barely got any sleep. My mom was genuinely like concerned for me. She was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "The cat." And she was like, "You don't have a baby. Like tell him no." And I'm like, "You know how many times I've told this cat no? Like he doesn't give a flying crap."
Oh my God. I have never really been like around cats like that. My mom.
Neither have I. I'm marrying into this.
That's crazy.
I'm literally marrying into this cat's thing. I want a dog. I want someone to get me a dog.
Me too. Desperately.
You are at a place though where you can have a dog. I can't have a dog because the cat will hate the dog. And the cat's already here. He's already established. He can't. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
I am praying, wink, wink, if my boyfriend's listening, to have a dog by the fall.
Brian, write it down.
Write it down.
Put it in a note. Put it in your notes app.
I need something that barks.
And not you, Brian. All right? Not you.
Oh my goodness. Wait, I want to pull this up. Duke fan here. I live in North Carolina now. Wow. So you are an Eagles fan, a Duke fan that lives in North Carolina.
Bless.
I love that for you. You know, my family's big. They're like split Duke and UNC. Some people love Duke, some people love UNC. So those games are always big for us.
Well, yeah, it could have happened, but
It could have. It didn't.
I have to say, on the men's side of the March Madness stuff, that North Carolina Duke game was so good to watch. Like, it was so interesting. And then NC State winning because they're an 11 seed going to the Final Four is the story that we needed in this tournament. Like, we were getting a lot of 1 seed action here. I'm like, I need an underdog. So now I'm rooting really hard for NC State. Plus, my best friend Sarah went there, so I'm rooting for them.
Oh my God, I was already rooting for them, but I will continue to root for them. Yeah, no, I love the underdog. I also think it's so cool that there are like 2 colleges both in it.
Yeah,
For men's and
UConn
women's.
and NC State, yeah.
Yes.
Both
Like,
of
that's
us are in the Final Four.
crazy. Imagine being a student there right now.
Oh my God. It's probably amazing.
I know.
The funny thing is too, so I texted Sarah, who's a NC State alum, and she was like so stoked about them making this run. Her husband went to UConn. So currently they're both like on this cloud 9, and I'm like, well, what's gonna happen? Like let's just say it's NC State and UConn in the finals in either of the tournaments. She's like, oh yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting.
Oh my God, what if? Oh wait, oh my God, it literally could be UConn, NC State in both.
Which is definitely, I don't even need to look it up. That's definitely never happened before.
No, because this is the first time that 2 schools have even had that. So,
yeah. That's crazy.
That's crazy. And also this comment, we'll do a let's go UConn. And then this comment is absolutely beautifully crafted. "'Tis the damn season," one Taylor Swift reference, "for cats being little rascals. They'll just make you tolerate it. We all knew they were trouble when they walked in. Did we not? Get her a puppy already, Mr.
Sporty." Oh my God. On
Brian,
his
from
name
this
card,
moment on, will be Mr. Sporty.
At my wedding, I am going to have Miss Jordan Arard Coupe and Mr. Sporty. That's how it's gonna be. That's how it's gonna be labeled. I love that.
I'm crying.
But yes, I literally March Madness. I don't think I've ever been this involved before, but it's just so good on all sides. So good. And I think our tournament challenge really helped out with that too. Like, I was like really stoked about that. So when we did that, I was like, now I have to watch all of the women's games. And just all around, I love March Madness.
Oh, it's my favorite time of the year.
I'm on board now.
Good.
I'm on board. And I'm like, I was watching it at my family's house on Sunday because I was working that day. And my mom was like sitting down, we were like watching basketball, and she was like, I don't think I've ever sat down and like watched a basketball game before. And I was like, well, there's a first for everything.
Yes.
And she was like, this is so interesting. She was like, look at them running up and down. And I was like, look at them.
Look at them doing the thing.
She was like, wow. I wish she had watched the Iowa LSU game on Monday with me, because I know she would have loved it.
Yes.
I could literally watch Caitlin Clark hit threes all fucking day.
All day.
All day.
It's actually what I would prefer to do all day long.
Yeah.
Like,
would.
I wish that was the only thing I had to do in life, was watch her play basketball.
That's amazing.
So amazing. Oh my God, I'm obsessed. And also next year for March Madness, it's $20 to enter. I'm going to have to get you in my family bracket.
I would love to be in the
men's
bracket. I would love that.
But you're in next year.
Hell yeah. It's like, I think that it's like, you know how things like skip generations? Like, I think I have a good bracket every other year.
Yeah.
So like last year I picked UConn to win the whole thing, and I had a very good bracket. I think I won like $200. And
I remember that.
And then this year, garbage. So bad. Just absolutely atrocious. So then next year, hopefully, that would mean I have a good bracket.
You have a good. Well, if anyone there's like some of like my uncle's like work friends in there. So like there are some people in our bracket challenge that like I don't even know.
There you go.
So if someone's gonna win, that obviously isn't me. I want it to be one of my friends or super close loved ones. Also, completely off topic. Have you heard of an awala?
I have.
My
You
God,
have
look at it.
one.
Don't it look like a koala?
Oh, is that why it's called that?
Yes.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yes, they're called awalas because when you take a sip, you'll look like a koala.
I thought you were just showing me you drinking it, and I was like, yes, it's water bottle.
No, but also, here's the magic thing about it. So you can drink it like normal.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Love that.
Thank you. But also, there's a little secret. I'm scared I'm gonna like dump water all over my computer. There's like a little straw right here, so you can just sip.
Oh,
Isn't that crazy?
damn. The water bottle game must be cutthroat.
Right?
Like, how is Hydro Flask supposed to compete with that?
Right?
Like, all I have is a straw. I can't tip this back.
And it's funny because I now have a Hydro Flask. I have 2 Stanleys, and now I have an Awala. And everyone just keeps gifting me the trendy water bottles, and I just rotate for whatever mood I'm feeling that day.
Well, that just means that you'll be drinking more water.
Yes. Oh, I'm doing so good. You'd be so proud.
Yeah. How's your Pepsi laps going?
So I was great up until my birthday. Now that I'm getting back to work after my birthday, where I had no rules or regulations, it's been a little tricky. Definitely not as strict as I was, but better than I was when I was bad.
Okay.
So we're in like an in-between. But like by next week, I want to get like back on track.
Okay. I love that.
Yes, but
You're doing so good.
Thank you. I feel good.
Shall we move on to less sporty things and more bookie things?
Yes.
Not bookie things. Not bookies. We're not betting. This is different.
I didn't realize I'm a bookie in all aspects.
Look at that. Oh my God. You need to rebrand.
I really do.
Rebrand.
I am actually copywriting that immediately.
You're a bookie.
I'm a bookie.
And bookie. Oh, I love that. Yes. A Court of Thorns and Roses stuff. So normally, we will have a book talk segment every week. But we decided not only did I not want to talk about where I'm at in the series because of spoiler reasons. I don't want people to have to jump off the live because we're going to spoil something. But also because I'm only like 100 pages in, and I was like, I don't really think there's enough substantial things that have happened yet for me to like sit down and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So next week, when we go back to our regular scheduled recording, we'll probably have a book talk segment. But this week, we actually will combine ACOTAR and the NFL because our friend, he's not our friend. I wish he was our friend.
Me too.
JJ Watt is reading. It's starting retirement off just fine. Wait, did he just start retiring? Yeah.
No, he was retired last year.
Okay, never mind.
Right?
He's been retired. But anyway, he's still retired. And I don't know what I'm talking about. He's reading ACOTAR based off of his wife's recommendation. And he posted it on Twitter today, and which was basically like, I don't know what I'm getting into. And then his wife responded, I saw, and said something like, oh, you're not going to regret this. And he was like, so many people are already telling me to like post my thoughts. And I'm like, please, JJ, post everything. Everything.
I actually want a 500-word summary of every chapter.
MLA format.
In MLA format, I need to know every single one of his thoughts. I am so excited that he was going on this journey. And also, slight side note, I did get the entire Throne of Glass series for my birthday.
I didn't realize how many books were in that series.
Oh my God. Brian carried it up my apartment. And they're hardcover. It was like 80 pounds, not actually, but it was really, really heavy.
I can imagine.
He was like, what is this? Because imagine we got driven back to my apartment end of the night, lot of drinks later.
Sure.
So he's like, "What is this?" And I was like, "It's my books." He's like, "These are all books?" I'm like, "Yes." I'm like,
Got
"They're
a
all,"
lot of reading to do.
and he's like, "It's so heavy. They're so big." And I was like, "They're my books. That's what I'm reading next."
They're my books. I know, I don't think I realized how many, were actually in the Throne of Glass series. Um,
Wait.
I got something spoiled for me, not from ACOTAR, from Crescent City.
Whoa, I don't know a single thing about Crescent City.
Neither did I, but I got something spoiled for me, and I won't share with you because it was kind of like, "Oh, that would've been so fun to read,"
Wait,
but
yeah.
I won't tell you. But I literally was watching it and I was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "I don't even know how I got this TikTok because I'm not even on Crescent City TikTok." I'm like,
Yeah.
it was so random, but now I'm feeling more inclined to read that series, even though I have about 3 other series in front of anything because I have so much stuff to read. And I actually just got Audible so I can listen to some because I do a lot of listening to book or listening to podcasts and stuff, and I was like, "Why don't I listen to books?" So, I started listening to books.
See, I so wish I could be an audiobook person. I really tried. But for me, it's literally like reading it, like the action of reading is like one of my favorite parts about it.
I
So,
agree.
like, I was getting the story, but for some reason, like, I didn't get like the satisfaction that I get from reading. And like, I understand the story. It didn't click for me. And I really wanted it to because then I could read so much more.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking as well, but then I started listening to it because I painted our bedroom. It's a beautiful shade
Nice.
of blue now. Very, very happy with it.
Love.
But I was like, I don't want to listen to music and I don't really want to listen to a podcast. Like I want to read, but let me like so I just ended up downloading Audible, which is free for the first month, and they give you a free credit, which is like a free book basically.
Oh.
And I got a book, listened to it, like the whole thing while I was painting, because it took about 6 hours to listen to it. So I painted for about 4, and then I walked around the rest of the house for the next 2 hours just listening to it. It was a very good book, but I was like, I'm glad I didn't waste my time sitting down reading this.
Mhm.
Like that's the kind of vibe I got. And then I had heard about these a few other series through TikTok, and one of them is on Audible. It's called A Touch of Darkness. And it's probably all up my alley because it's Greek god stuff and I
Oh
was reading Percy Jackson. So this is the Hades and Persephone story.
my god. I read Song of Achilles, and if you haven't read that, add it to your list at some point.
Okay.
Phenomenal. And I've been looking for another good like Greek mythology one.
It's good so far. I'm about halfway through it, and, I'm listening to it, though, and again, I went into it just reading the description that I saw off of, Audible. So I was like, "Cool," and then it said romance and, whatever, and I was like, "Okay, cool." So I've been walking around the house listening to it, but it is a bit spicy.
Mm.
So I have recently learned that if there's anybody else around, I have to put headphones on. Otherwise, the entire world will know what I'm listening to. So, but it's very good. It's cute. But again, like as I'm listening to it, I'm like, I'm glad I'm not sitting down reading this and that I'm like doing other things while I'm listening to it because I get like, I don't know, I feel more validated to be listening to it rather than not wasting my time, but you know what I mean.
No, I get you. And it's so funny that you say that because I remember a couple weeks ago, I was getting my nails done and I went up to this girl and she was getting her nails done. And on her phone, she must have had like the book app download, my new screensaver.
Oh,
She must have had like the book downloaded on her phone and she was like reading it and she would just pull her hand away to like scroll. And I was like, "Oh, like, are you a reader? What are you reading?" And she got so flustered and like
oh no.
was like tripping over her words. And I was like, I wanted so badly to be like, "Girlie, I get it. Like all good. I
Can't do it here.
understand. I respect. I shouldn't have asked. Like my bad. Like
That one's
you
on me. That's
enjoy.
on me.
Yeah, you enjoy all the dirty smut, girl. I am cheering you on. I'm rooting for you."
Did she answer you?
No, I was like, "What are you reading?" And she was like, "Oh, just like a romance." And that's when I knew. And I didn't
You're
get
like,
a
"Yeah,
title. I didn't get an author. She wouldn't make eye contact with me for the rest. And I was like, girl, it's okay. Like,
We're all in the same boat.
we all do it.
But so what's really funny right now with the ACOTAR stuff, and I mentioned it last week on the episode, is that my best friend Erin is currently reading A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I'm at the same point in the series that you were at when I started the series. So I'm on the last book. Erin just started Court of Thorns and Roses, and then last night, she's a nurse. She works nights. Shout out to Erin, and also Erin, if you're listening, don't listen anymore because I'm gonna probably drop a few things that you shouldn't hear. And I'm giving her a second to log off. So anyway, she finished the first book. Like so she's like texting me. Wait, I have to read some of these texts because now they're great to like see back on and like everything.
No,
but so
I am so glad you get to experience it from that point of view because it really was so fun for me. Like watching you go through it was beyond entertaining.
So she goes, I finished A Court of Thorns and Roses at 7:41 a.m. So she was reading through the night. And I said, tell me your thoughts. She said, I thought it was really good. Of course, Lucian shows up after Feyre made a deal with, okay, spoilers, I'm going to start spoiling things. Everybody get off if you don't want to listen to it. Showed up after Feyre made a deal with Rhysand. I'm curious what happens now that I don't know if she sees I don't know what she meant by that. This deal with Rhysand and the whole thing with Nesta. I was like, okay, she's not that bad. I got some more respect for her. She did not like Nesta in the beginning of the book. She was like, they're horrible. And I was like, they are pretty horrible.
They are.
Like, yeah. And then she was like, I expected the three innocents of that Amarantha brought in to be Feyre's family. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't think that. So this is also why I just like love listening to other people talk about this. And then I'm excited for you to keep reading. She said, me too. I already have the second book. And I said, good. The second book was my favorite. And then we were chatting, whatever. And then I said, what are your feelings on Tamlin? She said, I feel like there's a love triangle that's going to start happening. Tamlin, I like him so far. It's like a Beauty and the Beast 5. I love Lucian though. So, yeah, it's pretty funny. And then today, 5:57 a.m. Okay, I am fully Team Rhys. I am not a fan of Tamlin. He's being an ass. Rhys, fully concerned about Feyre. Tamlin is not. Actually, Rhys wants to talk to her about how she's feeling. And I said, yes. She said, Tamlin can hop right off.
I love that light switch moment that everyone goes through. Yes. When they're just like, yeah, fuck him. Yeah.
So I told her, I was just like, my nickname for him was Tampon. And she was just like, I like that. And I was like, yep. So it's it's just very, very fun to now get this for me through her.
Tampon in bad moments, Tam when he's being decent.
I saw somebody was like called him Tammy Lynn, like TAMMYLYNN. And I was like, oh my God. And she, like, you know the TikTok sound right now? That's just like, Mr. Vice President, Mr. Madison, Senator Burr, what is this? And she was like reading an end of Court of Mist and Fury. And she was like, King of Highburn, Tammy Lynn, Lucian. And I was like, I literally commented on it. And I was like, I'm taking this.
No, that is hysterical.
Tammy Lynn.
Oh my God. I cannot wait till you are done Silver Flames and we can do a full review.
Yes, I'm working my way. I'm working my way.
Are. That one, it's a giant book.
Yeah, I'm reading this one a lot slower.
It definitely, like, you know how like back in like Mist and Fury, A Court of Thorns and Roses, I was like, hey, everything's super slow up until this one point. We're kind of back to that with this one.
Yeah, but this book is very different than the rest of them. Like, we are not at all in Feyre's point of view. And it is so far, very Cassian and Nesta heavy, which I like because that's what I thought Frost and Starlight was going to be. And it wasn't. So I was like, dang, I really wanted a Cassie and Nesta story, and now we're getting it. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'm ready for this. I'm ready to see how this one unfolds. So yeah, but they're like, we're like nowhere deep into this story yet, and I'm 100 pages into it. So I'm like, I gotta give it a second to, you know, pick up the pace a little bit, if you will. But I have to throw this comment up here because this just makes me happy. Zach said this podcast is the best. It's just two cool people being cool people alongside each other. Hell yeah. That's makes me happy. That's what we like to hear.
That's all we wanted here.
Yeah. And that's what Jordan and I strive to. And let's see, it's the 3rd. Our 1-year anniversary should be coming up at the end of this month.
Yes.
That's crazy.
I know. What was it? April 11th? Is that the official? Was that the day?
That was the day that we no longer had a job.
Yep.
And then I want to say it was like 2 weeks later.
I think so. Like, I think it was pretty quick.
28th-ish. We have to see.
Yeah, because I started my job by end of May and we were already started.
Yeah. We had a full month of pure bliss of not having anything to do, and then Jordan had to go and get a job.
I know.
And then I'm just kidding, because then I went and got a job, and we were like, oh, look at that. But we stuck with it, which I'm appreciative of.
Right.
Shall we go into a bit of our questions in our mailbag?
Yes.
If anybody has any more questions they want to drop in, feel free to drop them in the comments. But yeah, let's mailbag it up, baby.
Yes. So I got a lot of Philly specific questions, which I was fully anticipating. So I'm going to kind of hold them off to the side, see how much we get through here. But one sports related question, not Eagles related, comes from one of my best friends in the entire universe, Abby. Abby, you are my soul sister. I love you. And she said, what is the most annoying thing about working in sports? And I thought this was a great question, and I want your thoughts.
It's a great question. I will admit there are a few things, but the big thing for me, and it's for a lot of people to think about when you're getting into sports, is the schedule. Mm-hmm. I think that's the biggest thing for me. You will be working on weekends. You will be working at nights. And I work a typical 9 to 5, but like when things like this are happening, like March Madness, like I have worked the past 2 Sundays. I have worked at night while games are on. I'm going to be working this weekend. Like, it's just kind of what happens. And when you're doing it, it's like, it's fun because you're like watching sports, but then you kind of are also always watching sports, and you don't ever want, I don't think that the fun has been taken out of it per se, but you definitely look at it in like a different lens. And I feel like, Jordan, you would agree with me in a sense.
That is literally what I was going to say. It kind of like everyone starts, and I agree 100%. I still have all the fun of sports. I still feel it. I still get the excitement. Mm-hmm. But when you have to switch into like that work mode, it kind of takes this thing that was like your passion, your entertainment, and it's now your job. So you have to look at it differently. You feel differently about it. So I think that's probably the most annoying thing, but I also think you nailed it with the schedule, because that's the hardest thing. And also just location. Like, it's one of those things, you want to work in sports, you're going to be in person. Like, this is not really a job that you can get fully remote. There's so much that goes into it. And also, like, there's only so many amount of jobs like per cities. Like, a lot of the time you're going to have to move cities for a sports job, which I've seen a lot of my friends in the industry do multiple times. So there's definitely, you have to know what you're getting into, and it's a big commitment, but also it's like one of the best things in the world. So
it looks like we have a little bit of a follow-up question. Is there something that you can accomplish in your careers where you'd be able to, in good faith, think it doesn't get better than this? This is the peak. What do you think?
I mean, I have like my dream scenario in my head.
Yeah.
I want to host like an interview style show, like with athletes, former athletes, where it can be like super fun, super casual. Like, you get to know them like on like a personal level, like we play games, like That's like my dream. And like,
Mhm.
even if it's just Philly based, like that kind of vibe, but like any sort of like sit down show in the sports world, that if I ever got that, I would be like, okay, I'm here. This is all I need.
Yeah. I mean, I would say very similar, but like kind of like being at the top of the food chain,
Mhm.
like making all the decisions, producing everything. Jordan and I have always said for as long as we can remember that it was always going to be the host and executive producers of shows that we were going to be each other's like thing. Like
Mhm.
that was going to be our peak, which I think we could definitely accomplish separately, but it would be really, really fun to do it together because we've done it before and we do it now technically. And it's a lot of fun. But yeah, definitely just like running the show, like doing everything exactly how you would want it to do, and then
Mhm.
like getting paid for it.
No, and me and Sam, we've always like from the get-go have worked so well together. So when if we ever can get back to that point where I am hosting a show that Sam is producing, that would just be my favorite thing ever.
It would be. It would be a lot of fun. Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. We just need some funding if anyone wants to like give us $1 million.
I would also love to say in this show specifically, I would like to think that Jordan and I are gonna do this show for a very long time, and it's the way that we stay in contact with each other basically.
Literally.
And to do live shows like tour would be so much fun. Like we would just I can't even imagine what that would be like, but I feel like it would be so much fun.
No, that actually, it's something that my mind never even went to, but now that it's here, I like need it to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be just so much fun. Just like literally you and I just shooting the shit with like a bunch of people. Like is that not like just like the dream?
Oh, that is the dream. Ugh, people who know how quirky and funny we are, like I love that. Um, Another question, this one affects both of us. Does Saquon Barkley manage to stay healthy this year?
Um well, as somebody who's dealt with it and dealt with the injuries, it's more possible that he doesn't stay healthy than he does stay healthy,
Mhm.
unfortunately. I don't wish him non-health because he's a person and I would never ever wish that upon somebody for him to get hurt just because he doesn't play for my team anymore. But unfortunately, it's more likely than not that he will. I would genuinely like to see him perform well despite it being for the Eagles, but I'm not genuinely not 100% sure that that's going to stay good.
No. Yeah, that was the reason I didn't want Saquon initially. That was like one of the main factors of me wanting to keep DeAndre Swift because I was like, he has more of the longevity aspect. The one thing that I'm hoping, and we've already talked about on the show before, is that I'm hoping that Saquon can get the Christian McCaffrey treatment that he's gotten since going to the 49ers. Like, you're on a team that has a lot more talent around you. So, like, your entire offense isn't just entirely relying on you. So, I'm hoping that with like the offensive weapons that we do have other than Saquon, we can kind of utilize him in the right way that avoids any major injury. But again, like, any play it could happen on, you just don't know. So we'll see. I feel like he'll miss a couple games. I'm just hoping for nothing major.
Yeah, I mean he was in and out for us, like minor injuries where he'd miss a few games and then he'd come back, and but like during those times he was not performing exponentially great.
Yeah.
Like there was I think it was 2 seasons ago, he stayed healthy through the entire year and it was like bananas. I was like, this guy is so good. I love him. But it was like that was the first year in like years that we'd had him fully healthy for an entire
Mm.
season. So,
Yeah. No, we will see. Um, what other question? Oh, here, do we want to do your Taylor Swift one?
yes, I don't have it written down, but somebody did ask me if you could be any Taylor Swift era, which era would you be?
Now, is this like permanently?
They didn't give details, but like let's just say yes, like you would be in this era for the rest of your life.
Oh, real quick, breaking news. Massive brawl just as puck drops. 8 players have been injected after huge fight erupts 2 seconds into the Devils Rangers game.
Oh my god.
I
To
just
the internet. I must see it.
That is actually insane. But referring back to your question,
Yeah.
I think if I had to be in one era for forever, I think it would be folklore, just because I would love to be a little mountain lady in my cabin with a lover, reading my books and writing love letters. Like I love that vision. And I love the vibe of folklore that could just like keep me mellow. Like there's something for every feeling. So if I had to be in one for forever, it would be folklore.
That's a really, really good one.
Thank
And
you.
it's definitely the one I was just considering, but I will pick a different one just
I'm
for
so
fun.
sorry.
No, it's totally fine because this is not real life and we can do that. um oh man, there's so many good ones.
I
Hmm. I'm trying to I guess I would say Speak Now because not only because I'm partial to it because I really really love that album, but like it's just so fantasy and
know.
romantic and big ball gowns and sparkles and like just kind of like but with like some incredibly raw emotions and like some raw things that happened in that album, but like overall like still have like the curly hair and the big dress. Like I don't know, I think that that's just very like romantic and like there's a lot of castle imagery and like medieval times almost.
Yes.
I would probably say Speak Now, but I am watching the video of the freaking Royal Rumble that just happened.
Is it crazy?
They just all started fighting each other, like every single person is
Was it like
fighting.
planned? Like were they like, yo, we're gonna scrap at puck drop? Like
I would assume. I'm sending you the tweet right now.
that's insane. And here, just because we're getting close to the hour,
Yeah.
here's one more question. This one I'm really intrigued by and can go in a bunch of different directions. What is the athlete that has the most potential?
I'm assuming we can pick any sport
Yeah.
because it just says athlete and not like football player. And
Also like potential. Like
potential. I feel like I know that we've just been talking a lot about women's basketball, but like that's where my mind is going immediately.
my mind immediately went to Paige.
See, I was thinking Juju just because of but
So
both
real.
of them, like that's just they're so good. And
Yes.
like I think it's also just like recency bias that's at the top of our brains right now. I'm trying to think of like somebody like I'm trying to think of like a guy in the NFL draft or something right now.
I know. I feel like we haven't really had like generational like talent.
It's like, am I gonna say Drake May? No.
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 No, thank you. Um, no, I'm going Paige just for the fact that like prior to Caitlyn blowing up, like Paige was the big name. Like she was like the first college basketball player that I really was like, yes, I know you, I watch you.
Mhm.
And then she had 2 major injuries. We really haven't seen that much of her over the last 2 years. And now she's healthy and fucking back to being Paige buckets.
Yeah.
So, and I think now she's going to take one more year at UConn. So we're kind of going to get all the hype of this draft class. Caitlin, Angel, like all of them that are in there right now. And then in another year, then we'll get Paige. And if now she'll be the young rookie in that situation.
Yeah.
And I think she's going to pop off. So I'm going to say Paige.
I do want to bring up this one more question because I think that it's interesting.
Ooh.
Would either of you ever consider writing a book or a web serial?
Growing up, I was always trying to write books, like, as a kid. Like, I loved it. My teachers always said, like, "She's a writer, she's a writer." So I would love to. I don't know if I ever will, but I definitely like the idea of it.
I do too. I wrote a lot as a kid. I
Yes.
wrote my own stories. I went to a very high literary school as well, high school. So like we were encouraged to write a lot. But like when I was a kid, I like wrote a whole story. Believe it or not, it's a fairy story. I wrote a whole book like about fairies. And yeah, that's weird because that's thinking about it now. There
Our
was
lives now.
it was much cleaner than the books we're reading now, I should say, because I was very young. But I'm pretty sure I still have it somewhere. I like drew out the cover and everything. There was werewolves in it. I'm like a big fantasy person too, so like I've always loved like Supernatural, Teen Wolf, like all those TV shows. But yeah, I love it. It was not very good. It was not very good. I don't know if I could do it now. I've not tried, but I don't think that that's the route for me to go on. Although I do script for a living, so like short things, and like I remember I used to write for you like those scripts about like history and like the NFL and like stuff like that. That was interesting, but that's like based on fact. So that's like things that I'm like here and I'm like, okay, I can like write them better. But like to start something from scratch is like I don't know. I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, no, honestly, putting that in perspective, like, the content that I make for my full-time job is
Uh-huh.
very storytelling-esque, and I'm writing, like, 3 scripts a day.
Right.
So in that aspect, I guess I still am writing. I never look
Short
at it that
form
way. Short
short
form.
form, like, that's the vibe, I think. It's
Yeah.
hard long form writing.
God, I don't know how people do it. I just feel like I have so many thoughts. Like, I don't understand how people can like build out characters and personalities to the point like likes, dislikes, interests, like how you can really like conclude a person, conclude a story with like all these like like I don't know if I could ever do that. I would love to. I don't know if I can.
Yeah. No, the thing is, like, especially reading, like, this series where it's thousands of pages,
Yeah.
and it's like, she mapped out this entire story, right? Before she even started writing, I'm gonna assume, because
Yeah.
there were things that led up to certain things. I just like there's no way that you can just sit down and be like, "Oh, maybe I'll make this happen." Like no, like you have to like have that ready to go. Like you have like it's always sunny in Philadelphia meme style of just like strings and things on a wall. Like I can't imagine you just like writing process is not it's clean type of thing. It's very messy and all over the place and I could imagine. But
Yeah, no. And also, speaking of, it is not always sunny in Philadelphia. I need the sun or
Jordan.
I am going to die.
Oh, it was such a bad joke, but it was so good.
I also feel like I make it every time it rains.
It's just you just saying like, no, it's not always sunny in Philadelphia.
It's
Coming
yep.
from Philadelphia in the rain and scaring Sam half to death, thinking she was dead on the side of the road.
Thinking she crashed her Honda Civic.
Please don't do that.
No, I'm really gonna try not to.
Yeah, please. I would appreciate that.
All right, we're gonna end on one more question,
Okay.
which I think is really fun. Now, this is a Philadelphia specific one. However, we can pull up all of the teams and do any city. But I got a question. Obviously, me and Sam are huge women's basketball fans now.
Hmm.
What should the eventually, obviously, we don't have one yet. There's no talks of one yet. But what should the Philadelphia WNBA expansion team be named? What would you name it? I'm so curious.
Oh, I feel like I've been doing a lot of WNBA research recently.
Mhm.
And the women's team names and like the team names in the WNBA are so good.
Yes.
So, like, I'm like, I don't wanna butcher it because, like, I love the name of a lot of these. Like, just the Indiana Fever? Like, nobody has a team name after a sickness. I love it. I love it. I would definitely the Philadelphia like, the thing is that, like, the women's teams are, like, they're dainty in, like, a good way.
Right?
Like, they're giving feminine, but not, like, small or, like,
Right?
minuscule. You know what I mean?
Like
Like
fierce.
exactly, exactly. So I'm like, Philadelphia it doesn't have to match specifically, right? Like, it doesn't have to go, like, Philly something.
No.
Do you have one?
No. That's
Okay.
why I put it on you. So you can help me get some inspiration.
Let's see.
Oh, we got some here. The Philadelphia Founders, Philadelphia Fanatics. I just feel like
Isn't your mascot for baseball a
I was
Philly
gonna
Fanatic?
say that's giving Phillies, and that's what my mind keeps going to, like, Phillies. I don't know. Try to
The
think.
I think the thing is, I'm thinking of your lacrosse team because you post so much about it. So, like, Philly's colors in my brain are purple.
Yeah.
Like, that's the color that keeps flashing in my brain. And like, what is like,
What
what
about
about like,
Legacy? Philadelphia Legacy.
I love Legacy. What about like the Philadelphia like I know we have the New York Liberty, but like the
Oh.
bells, the Liberty bells, or just like bells.
That's
Like
I was trying to think. My mind was like, okay, cheesesteaks, Liberty Bell.
the Philadelphia cheesesteaks.
Whiz Wit.
The
Philadelphia Whiz
Philadelphia
Wit.
the Philadelphia hoagies. The Philadelphia Wawas. Um, but yeah, I like something bells, like the Philadelphia Bells or
No.
something like that. Because like it gives like Bell of the Ball and it gives like Liberty Bell, but also it's like bells. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I love that. We're loving double entendres today. Bookies, bells.
Bookies and bells, and that's it. That's all we did today.
That's all. Yeah.
Bookies and bells.
So many bookies and bells.
But yeah, I can't really think off the top of my I'm like trying to like look around the room too, see if anything sparks anything. But that I think that's gonna be my final answer.
I just thought of one, but it's so like it's a joke.
No, I want to hear it now.
Well, because I went to I was like, oh, what's popular in Philly? I went to Broad Street and I was like, Philly Broads. And I'm like, that's awful.
Oh no. That's like the worst.
Awful.
That's like the worst kind of thing you could name an expansion women's team.
Like, we would get canceled before we started.
Yeah, we do. Please don't cancel us. We're not actually going with that.
Sam looking around the room, Philadelphia drywalls.
Yeah. My bland ass walls. I promise at some point there's gonna be stuff on this wall. I promise. I'm working on it.
Same.
Oh my god.
Oh
But
my
that's
God.
a good question.
That was a great question. We got a lot of good ones. And maybe even we can carry some into next week. And also just keep sharing us, keep watching us, because the more we grow, the more live shows that we get to do. But we had so much fun doing this one here with you guys. Thank you so much for those who listened and participated. Anyone who dropped a question for us, we are so beyond grateful. Sam, is there anything you want to add to my thankfuls page?
Yeah, keep on sharing us because we'll try and do a live show every milestone. Um, we love it. We love you guys. This is always a blast. Jordan and I want to go live more often, but we just don't have a reason to. So and then we also sit and talk to each other for like hours after a freaking recording. But anyway, but yes, we appreciate you guys. Keep on sharing, throw it out there. We'll get some more subs, we'll do some more live shows and answer more of your questions.
Yes. And if you are new here, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and find us on all of our social medias at the Unsolicited_podcast for TikTok, Instagram, Threads. Find us on Twitter at Sam and Jordan, and then find us on audio wherever you listen to your podcasts. Again, we are so grateful for 300, and we'll be back next week.
Bye.
Bye.